Hello everybody up in Burt. My name's Mary and I'm a friend of Katrina Sweeney's mum and dad, and I've known Katrina for a long time. But Katrina has asked me to share with you my recipes which I have on my YouTube channel. Just by coincidence, it was set up before COVID away last November by my son. However, it's come in useful and it's kept everybody baking. And that was the idea for my grandchildren. So what I have done up to now, anything that I've been baking from the start of March, I have written down in a wee book, wee notebook like this, and I've called it my COVID-19 recipe book. So every time I have done something on YouTube, which is Granny Mary's Irish Home Cooking, I have shown the recipe out of this wee book first. So generally you have the recipe and then the method. But I just wanted to share with you just some basic ingredients that's handy to have in the house and I've used in these recipes. So the recipes are all very simple, easy recipes. There's no great skill involved in any of them, and it's mostly Irish homebread, which is the easiest and the best to me. So to make my soda farls, etc., I'm using, it doesn't have to be this brand, but it's self-raising soda bread flour. The other ingredient, which everybody has probably in the house, is ordinary plain flour. If I'm making wheaten bread or wheaten farls, I use coarse wholemeal flour, not ordinary wholemeal, coarse wholemeal, which gives you a far better result. Fine wholemeal just doesn't do it. We've self-raising flour, which is a flour you'll use for cakes and sponges, but that's all. So for breads, I would use wee tea cakes or anything like that. I'll use self-raising soda bread flour. Plain flour, you can use it along with baking soda or baking powder, and coarse wholemeal as well. But the self-raising is just for cakes and buns. The other ingredients that you will need, just to go through them, is margarine or butter. So if I'm making pastry or mostly pastry or anything that needs hard scones or anything like that, I will use hard margarine, like Stork, something similar, in a block. But quite a lot of times I use unsalted butter, like this here, instead of using margarine. So for, say, the scones or tea cakes or shortbread, etc., I'll use this. But if I'm making sponges or anything that I want a light outcome, I'll use a light, something like a soft margarine like Stork. Again, the supermarket's own brand is cheaper and it's quite all right. The other thing that I use, of course, is sugar. Now, I just buy, because I bake a lot, I just buy caster sugar all the time. Caster sugar is finer than granulated and it's better for baking. Some of the recipes, especially for a chocolate cake or for a fruit cake or a fruit loaf, it's better to use brown sugar. But if you haven't got it, if you use white sugar, it gives you a lighter cake, a lighter coloured cake, but the same outcome. Darker caster sugar would give a chocolate cake a more caramel taste. The other thing that we'll use is a raisin agent. So for wheaten bread or soda farls, I'll use baking soda. Or you'll see it in my recipes, I might have said bicarbonate of soda. So either baking soda or bicarbonate, same thing. If I'm making a cake or something and I'm using self-raising flour or I'm using plain flour and adding a raisin agent, I will use baking powder. So that's baking powder and baking soda. And generally, if you're making soda farls or wheaten farls, you'll use the baking soda with the plain flour, but you'll also add buttermilk. Sweet milk would do. If you're making tea scones, sweet milk and soda bread flour was quite fine. So, and of course, the last thing you'll need for lots of things is just eggs. So back to some of the recipes. that's my recipe for shortbread. So that's the basic recipe. What you might want to do sometimes is multiply it up. So this recipe here makes 20. And I find making 20 is just not enough, especially if I'm making it in a mixer, and I'll double it up and make 40. So that's the basic ingredients that you need. So to all and Up and Bert, happy baking. And I do try the soda bread, the soda farls and the wheaten bread. And they're absolutely lovely. And your children will enjoy them. The last thing that I would say is, if you've got children, what to make for them, actually, and get them involved, would be wee buns. And I just do an all-in-one mix. And the kids just love it. Trying to decorate them and lick in the bowl. So happy baking up in Donegal. And cheers from County Armagh.